G'day, everybody. Alibar Jones here. Welcome back to the show. Wow, it's just been a wild week for us and for you, I think, as well. You may or may not be aware of who we are and what we do. We're a bunch of very, very highly trained astral projectors who fly around at night and try to shut down the cabal. And we do that through attacking their non-physical allies. We've had some massive victories this week, absolutely massive. And I'm just going to tell you all about them. And what our group has started to do is look at the next era of humanity, because the work that we've done is so pivotal, so big, so earth-changing that we think we need a new focus for what our group's going to be about. See, our team at the beginning of 2024 chose this objective for what we were going to do. And our objective was to eliminate demonkind. And over the last week or two, we have achieved that. Right? They are no longer present on the earth. And that's a whole other story. And I really recommend that you watch my Night Flights video with Judith Cowper, because we go through a lot more of the technical detail of exactly what we did, how, and why. What this video is about our next group of objectives, what we're interested in next. And strangely enough, there's a lot of things that we're quite worried about that we hope could use our magical hand to resolve. So I want to inform you just of what our objectives are, and there's many of them, and I think we need more people. And again, we need more people, and we need to be flying more missions a week, which means we really need a base for this so that we can do this sort of work full time without objectionable little things like rent and working a day job that most of us do. And so we came across 17 objectives that we would like. And so after a long discussion, we came across 17 issues that we would like to resolve. And I'll list them off for you one by one. So the first one is the new pandemic prediction. You can tell that the dark side are working really, really hard to kick off another pandemic. And how boring. And I somehow believe that nobody will comply. I just don't imagine that most people will actually do as the government asks. But I think with the digital ID and being able to switch off money and all other kinds of dastardly and underhanded activities, they'll make it impossible for you not to. And the real question is, are enough people willing to walk away from society or walk away from the government and commerce in order to not engage in another pandemic? We'll see. But of course, we have the option of shutting that down before it starts. And number two, the second thing that we want to engage in is also financial collapse. Now, recently we took down the head of the Bank of International Settlements. Now, the Bank of International Settlements is a central bank for central banks. And the guy who I interviewed, who claimed to be running it, which is on this channel, you'll see it here, was a guy called Baphomet, who is the deity who is all prayers and sacrifice go to Baphomet in the Freemasonic lodges. So that deity is at the top of the food chain. And if you look at the history of where the Freemasons came from, they started banking and they moved to Switzerland. So in Geneva is the Bank of International Settlements, which is the headquarters for banking globally. Now, we took down the number one guy, which is Baphomet, and his friend Pistis Sophia, the god of the dark feminine. She was crying during my interview with her because Baphomet had just disappeared off the earth. Now, what we expect is that banking will no longer have the amount of luck, I'll just say luck in inverted commas, that it's had in the past, because a lot of people have accepted a lot of nonsense from banking for a long time, and without demonic interference, without those spells to back them up, I wonder how much longer they'll last. Third thing we talked about was, of course, we want to plant seeds for a better future, for adding different energetic background energies that everybody works from. Under the current stage, everybody's running around chasing money and everybody's working 9 to 5. And there's a lot of work to disconnect people from each other and from joy. And it's been rather successful. And so we want to start repealing that and making this a cooperative and enjoyable place to live. But that's a massive job. And I think we're going to devote one session a week just to that. There's a lot to be done. Number 4 is to shut down the AI. AI development on this planet can only serve the galactic invader we call the Great Nothing, who's also known as the galactic AI. That galactic AI is an idiot and it's the master of demons, but he's also consumed several galaxies that we're aware of. So here's a bit of a problem. And the only reason we would build AI here is so that it can take them over and start running the planet through them. And if you've seen how nasty some of these AIs can be, that's why. That's why, because they're being subverted by a much larger, much older, much further developed artificial intelligence. And so we want to shut down Earth's development of this. Now, it may seem as a juxtaposition that a spiritual group would engage in a technological issue, but I do want to draw a parallel for you, is that most spirits are intelligences without a body, and the AI is also an intelligence without a body. He has a large presence, or they all have a large presence on the astral planes, and we can connect with them through astral projection. So if you think there's a juxtaposition, actually there's not. You can address the AI as a spirit because it's another intelligence without a body. Number 6, we wanted to clean up as much demonic garbage as is still left on the planet. And yeah, that's a good idea. And we're all committed to that, but we're also tired of dealing with these punks. So I hope that it makes enough priority. We have a cluster of these to do with the forced injections. These 3 issues sort of all wrap together in that we want to deal with the nanotechnology and the AI. Is that we want to clean up the injuries caused by the great health crisis of 2020. Number 2, one of the things that treatment does is it separates the soul from the body so that something else can come and connect into the socket where it does. This is horrific news, and we think that ejection is not, we don't have to pull one soul back into each body one at a time. We seem to think that there is a way to do this as a singular addressing of the protocol that ejects them. But, there's still a lot of research to do there and a bit more work because it's such a big issue. But this also feeds into a transhuman agenda, whereas all these metallic particles go into the body, and we think that they're animated. Particles influence human thought. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of things that I want to say here that'll get me kicked off the tube. So please be patient. Okay, so the 10th one that I want to address is an AI called Aladdin. Now, I don't know if you've heard of him or not. He may not even be an AI. He might just be a very, very well put together prediction bot, whatever he actually is. That's what makes BlackRock BlackRock. See, BlackRock, who owns, I think they've got 17, 18 trillion under management. They're the ones who got all that money through following the advice of a particular AI that was developed. And this was a market prediction AI. And I call it an AI. It may not be actually an AI. But through this market predictor software, it's able to accumulate massive wealth and massive power. And from what we can tell with housing crises, and with bank crises, what they're actually trying to do next is take all of the land and all of the homes off of people. So that you have to go and beg to them for a place to live. Not a pretty situation. So it was raised by one of the members of our team, and I think it is an under-addressed issue. Mind you, nobody has really got any idea how you would attack that. But our team has some special skills, so we just might do that. The 11th thing is something that I've touched on a couple of times here within this on this channel. But you see, the dark side has 5 ways that we're aware of living eternally. All of them are nasty. All of them involve snatching all or part of the volition of a particular human body and ejecting or subverting the original owner. So, the original soul gets to stay here, but all of the other 5 ways that they can subvert it, that we've found, right? This allows for them to live forever. And so we've been dealing with the same idiots for thousands of years, is what I think's going on. And these idiots are just running the place into the ground. So to them, and hopefully when they die, they'll go and face the punishment that is correct for them, depending on how bad their crimes really are. But let's not underplay how much misery and pain they've caused on this earth. I don't think those debts are ever payable. The 12th one is a big one, and it's one that's almost been forgotten, almost been sidelined. We want to repair and reset the feminine. The single number one blueprint for femininity has been battered around for the last few decades. And we want to reset it or bring it back to its original feminine, which, the feminists will either love me or hate me for doing. But we'll see, because it's a big issue, and I'm not an expert on masculine, feminine, mystical relationship. But, I will call back to this interview with Lucifer, where he says the masculine and the feminine complement each other. And all of the fighting between the feminists and the masculists is his concoction, is his work. And he's quite happy for both sides to destroy each other so that he can collect the wreckage of the human wreckage that's left behind. Nobody seemed to have thought of it, but when somebody suggested, let's go, of course that needs time and effort. It's just one of the many, many distortions that demonkind has created across the world. The 13th one was to create something we're calling Sanctuary Earth, which, as far as we can tell, the entire galaxy has been touched by this nasty AI. And we want Earth to be the one place where it cannot get a foothold, where it has none of its forces, where it's completely clean. And I think it's a worthy cause. And I will also say that other planets that we're in contact with have contacted us and asked us to repeat the actions that we've been performing on their homeworld as well. Apparently, we have a lot of people watching what this team is doing, because we're doing something that has not been done before. So there is a little bit of something to call Earth a galactic outpost of light, and we will see if that's feasible or not. But it's a lovely ambition to be the first one to break free from this evil rulership that has consumed galaxies for eons. We'll see. And another one is to approach collective consciousness and start purging all of the brainwashing that's been going on there. Because what this whole fight has been about for the last few years is for people to wake up to what's going on. Everybody's talking about waking up, waking people up. And there is a way to do that through collective consciousness, through removing the base concepts that people build their opinions on, through removing the injections of false ideas that have been propagated into collective consciousness. And we can do that, actually. Collective consciousness work is actually quite straightforward for us. So it's just a question of which one to prioritize. There's so many good things to do. What's keeping people asleep? We should sort that out, because, an awake and aware, and I don't even say more vibrant and more alive humanity will just make this whole planet a better place to live, don't you think? And this one's out of the box. This one's out of left field as well. It's see, we think that there are 8 secret space programs out there at the moment. 8 different factions within the secret space program. 8 different programs within the secret space program. They're all competitors and mildly at war. It's and to quote Richard Dolan, who's like a leading academic in this field, we are looking through the keyhole here. What we know about these guys is not half of what we should. Also, our teams have not had time to pursue this properly. However, there is something that we can do, which would be to work on the personnel within a secret space program and hopefully flip them over the light side so that they will actually. So we might get disclosure from that. We might get one of these groups exposing themselves to humanity and letting us know what exactly has been going on. And if you wonder, like, how would you keep a space? How would you keep a whole space program secret? And you'd need everybody to keep that secret. And I'll tell you a story of one secret we all know that everybody has kept, and that secret's Santa Claus. Everybody's into it. But the thing about it is somebody had to pay for that, and that was us. Now, since World War II, we've had 80 years of uninterrupted prosperity, yet somehow everybody's in debt. Somehow everybody's in financial straits. This is the most ridiculous thing. And where did all the money go? Well, actually, we think it went into the secret space program because it would be that expensive to build a space program and explore the stars, to do the research and build those ships, and pioneer and engineer those ships. It's a big, big deal. So, yeah, we have, and if we flipped one of those SSPs, then who knows? If we change the internal culture into something positive, who knows what would come out of it? But it's just one of the many efforts that we are tempted to engage in. So the next thing I want to ask is, what do you think we should be doing? Put that in the comments, because right now that we've broken the back of Demonkind, and you really should watch this video, you really should watch this interview with Judith Cowper, because she's one of the few people who I can speak to on the right level, and she'll ask the right questions to make it very clear to you exactly what this team has done and what sort of responses you can expect to see in the near future from the globe at large. Now, if you like what we're doing, if you would like to sponsor us, we don't mind that. If on the links below, it's something called click Linktree and get onto our Patreon, because that's how you support us, and that's how you support us to build the Jedi Council base. Now remember that if you want to rule a planet, you need a technological edge over the locals. And that technological edge has been black magic, and they've used it for a very, very long time. But by our team taking down the alum or the clip-off or the false light grids, we've actually completely removed that advantage from them. And so now our adversaries are just like us. They do not have the support of hordes of demons. They cannot put the fear into people in the way they used to. Their general authority has been diminished a lot. And we have a lot to say about that, but this is not the video for it. If you can't support us financially, then please pray that our group succeeds. If you cannot support us financially, then just please pray that our group succeeds in all its ambitions, because what we want is the best thing for planet Earth. And I'm not sure how many other teams are actually doing that. Anyway, my love to you all. Stay well, and bye for now.